Good morning, everybody. 422, April 22nd. Friday, baby. Friday. Weekend is upon us. Weekend is upon us. Another beautiful day for gaming and gaming news, as we always do. Good to see everybody. Good day. I hope everybody's day is going very well. Let me see here. No, not what I wanted. We're good. We're good. All right. All right. So, as we do every day, we will go ahead and hop into our gaming news. Today will be day 2 of Slay the Spire. So we finished Inscription yesterday, which was amazing. We did a half day ish, yeah, about a half day of Slay the Spire yesterday, which was a lot of fun. We had one win yesterday, and we'll keep going. We'll try out a new character today, and we'll see how much we can get done with Slay the Spire today. It was a lot of fun, and I'm excited to keep going. First, gaming news. So let's see what is going on in the industry. What kind of new information we can find out. Our buddy Pinky has already thrown some news regarding our weekend content game Lost Ark at me or at us at the community in our Discord regarding the fact that the game's release in the East has been announced with a new continent. So we might pull up some info on that real quick. Outside of that, we'll see what we can find just across the industry, though. Cool, cool. All right, let's switch over here. Move my camera real quick. Nice. All right. There's a good possibility I might sneeze very quickly here. Or not. Or not. Okay. I think it's gone. Cool. Cool, cool. Oh, got it. Eyelash was about to stun lock me, but we got it. Uh uh, All Elite Wrestling's new game is named after a crowd chant that's too sweet. We'll take a look at that real quick. I think for the longest time now, there's only been really like one wrestling game out in the out there for gamers. I mean, there have been plenty of fighting games, but actually in the world of the actual genre of wrestling games, as it were, I think really there's only been like a WWE game, right? Uh, I could be mistaken. I'm not positive, but I think so. It's not going to be bad to have another game to compete there. So what I will say is one of the reasons I think competition is going to be really good for the other game is that what I have heard is that the WWE game has traditionally been fairly buggy and not necessarily a bad game, but not a great game either. And there's just no competition, so there's no other game to look at. So if anybody's a fan of wrestling, that's pretty much all they had to go to, right? Now that there's another game coming into the fold, it will it might require the WWE series to step up their quality if this turns out to be a good game. So we'll see. Competition is always good. It's always good, man. Sony reportedly plans to put ads in PlayStation games. They are just following suit with what Microsoft has already told everybody they were going to do. It really, I mean, it really seems like across the board, really, it seems like Microsoft is kind of setting the bar, and PlayStation is just kind of following suit. I have to say, everything as far as the news segment goes, we tend to come across news breaking about Microsoft's gaming division, Xbox, as it were. Uh, um, kind of, these stories unfolding. They're releasing information about what their steps are, their plans are for the future of their gaming divisions and things like that. And then all of a sudden, Sony's like, "That's a good idea. We're gonna do that too." You know, it seems like Microsoft's really kind of trailblazing here, and Sony's just kind of you know stepping in their footprints, as it were. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm about to check. That's what I'm about to check. Thank you. I'll let you know, dude. I'll let you know. What's up, buddy? What's up, man? Hey, no, dude, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a different one. It was a different one. It was a different one. Dang it. But again, and we've talked about this stuff already. Product placement has been in games forever. It's just going to be more prevalent, a more interactive, uh, live kind of advertising space being sold within uh, their games moving forward. So it is what it is. I only have one at this point. How many do you have? Well, I have the one I got yesterday, and I had one before that. But you had already used one, right? I hadn't come across a way to get another power pass. Huh. I'll have to take a look and see if the other one I have expires. Are you serious? That feels bad. Okay. Well, I might have to take a look at making an alt. Hmm. Thanks for letting me know, buddy. Yeah, if you take a look at chat, if you are a player on, obviously, if you're viewing this on YouTube, you won't be able to take a look at what chat actually has up in Twitch, but you can see it on the screen. Um, our buddy Pinky. No, it's not fake. All right, dude. There you go, man. Good to know. Good to know. Um, power passes are what allow you to basically uh, expedite the leveling process for characters after you've already gotten a character up to level 50 or in-game leveling process or whatever. So you get a few of them in the game just for getting a character up to max max level 50. You can get past level 50, but in game level is level 50. Uh, and apparently one of them is going to end like expire on the 28th of this month. So if you're hoarding that and you don't realize it expires, it will expire in roughly 6 days. So you might want to go take a look at using that to go ahead and create an alternate character. Yeah, cool. All right. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, dude. I wasn't aware, man. That's good info. How are you, buddy? How's your day been? Overwatch 2 hands on. Our thoughts after weeks playing the closed alpha. Okay. Okay. A lot of Overwatch fans out there, so we'll take a look at that. Type and filter games rated. Likely for PS Plus Premium. We'll see. See what that's about. Paradox says anyone can make a vampire, the Masquerade game, if they want to. See what that's about as well. Good Nintendo Life. Been fine, you guess. Better than not fine, I guess. Yeah. Three Sega Genesis Mega Drive games have been added to Switch's online retro stuff, I think, or their emulator. Let's take a look at Nintendo Life. Let's see what that's about. Gwent, Orlog, and Tales of Tribute, while video games include tabletop games. People love tabletop games, that's why. And quite often, even like Gwent was added in as like The Witcher 3's um, kind of mini game, right? But people love Gwent as the mini game of Witcher 3, yeah? So even if it's not a full title game built around a like tabletop game, incorporating it as like a mini game, if possible, can be very, very good for some titles, just like The Witcher 3 did. I didn't. I guess I didn't know that Gwent was potentially a tabletop game before it was part of Witcher 3. That's what this makes me think is that maybe Gwent was a tabletop game before it was part of Witcher 3, but I'm not sure. Epic Game Store confirmed its next free titles. Didn't we already look at that? We'll take another look and make sure we've confirmed that. Alienware's new laptops are going big on AMD, so I'm not going to deep dive on what they're going to have in them. I mean, I guess we can take a look real quick. We'll take a look real quick, just see what their hardware is going to consist of. Baldur's Gate 3 confirmed for release in 2023. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure their early access just released another playable character, like a warrior or barbarian or something, I think, for Baldur's Gate 3. But we'll take a look and see what's going on there. Corsair Gaming stock sinks aftermarket on weak prelim quarter 1 results. Okay, let's see what that's about. All right, let's change up our search here. See if we come up with anything else. We've talked about some of that. We're about to see a lot more ads in video games. We keep talking about that. We've talked about this. We're going to see this today. We've talked about the new Star Wars stuff coming out. There's like 4 Star Wars games in development right now. We've talked about this previously. Again, I mean, a lot of this stuff, they're going to be, you can see, we'll still come across things that came up in the news segments like 3 days ago, what have you. Down at the bottom, they'll say 3 days. If I come across this stuff, we've already talked about it. I might like give a quick summary or TLDR of kind of what we talked about previously. But if you're interested in maybe some of what we hit on or want a better look at what we did hit on in these specific subjects, I would say maybe go back to 3 days ago, the news segment from 3 days ago on the highlights of the Twitch channel here or our YouTube channel, and take a look at the news segment from 2 to 3 days ago and find the segment that talks about this individual. If you're interested in this, and you'll find the segment there where we hit on that. Halo Episode 5 finally makes the TV series feel like the video games. I know a lot of people were not real psyched about the Halo series up to this point, so we'll see what that talks about. PAX East 2022, the 6 most exciting games to check out. We'll take a look at that. I love the way the Retro Turtles game looks, man. Blizzard's polling interest in NFTs. Yeah. Video game content creators face COPA liability hazards. Let's take a look at that. All right, let's get into these segments. See what we're pulling in here. Um, All Elite Wrestling's new game is named after a crowd chant, and that's too sweet. After AEW Dynamite aired, owner Tony Khan announced the name to the live audience. After AEW Dynamite and Rampage went off the air, President Tony Khan came out to the live crowd and announced the official name of his upcoming video game, AEW Fight Forever. The habitual readers of wrestling dirt sheets, the title of AEW's upcoming video game will come as no surprise following the promotion's trademarking of the name in late March. Fight Forever is one of the many infectious chants wrestling fans erupt into, letting wrestlers know how impressed they are with their in-ring schmoving, hoping the slobber knocker slugfest on display never ends. In addition to the live Pittsburgh audience's inside scoop for the game title, AEW ring announcer Justin Roberts invites fans to perform a series of chants, which will be recorded for the game. What ensued was a rumble of chants for AEW World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page, dual Adam Cole, Bebe, and Boom chants, and FTR Dax and Cash chants, and chants for the Icon Sting. The recordings are indicative that these wrestlers will be playable or at least present in the game, alongside Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Hikaru Shida, who were already announced. Um, in September, AEW announced that the late great Owen Hart would join the roster as a playable character as well. The announcement came as a result of AEW's partnership with the nonprofit charity, the Owen Hart Foundation. It will mark Hart's first appearance in a wrestling video game since Showdown Legends of Wrestling in 2004. Early footage of AEW Fight Forever was first revealed in November of last year. The company also created a series of spoof press conference videos about the game, parodying video game presentations like E3. Last June and September, AEW fans gave fans a sneak peek of wrestlers Darby and Jungle Boy's movesets during a developer update. The game is reportedly being developed by Yuke's, the Japanese studio behind WWE SmackDown and the WWE 2K games, with the help of Hideyuki Iwashida, who directed WWF No Mercy and Def Jam Vendetta. Safe to say the game is in good hands. I'm very excited to have been involved in the new AEW wrestling game. Oshida said during the AEW Games 1.0 special event in November 2020, adding it would be a dream wrestling game for its fans around the world. Expected to release sometime in September of this year. Okay, now I could be wrong. I think the new, I think the WWE game has pivoted to being developed by EA Games at this point. Let's confirm that. WWE license is rumored to be heading to publisher EA. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. But that's just for publishing, right? Rumors circulating WWE is in talks with the video game titan EA to make future titles in the franchise. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here. I don't think it's bad to have some competition in that genre. There's literally only the WWE game as far as I know. So um, I don't play the wrestling games. I loved them whenever I was a kid. I haven't played them forever though. Uh, it's never a bad thing to have some competition though. Okay, for anybody that's into the wrestling games, there you go. Overwatch 2 hands on our thoughts after weeks playing the closed alpha. Get a look at the new hero, mode maps, and hero reworks in the Overwatch 2 alpha. Um, After years of hearing about the unconventional sequel that is Overwatch 2, we finally gotten a chance to play it. PC Gamer participated in a closed alpha period that spanned a few weeks, seemed to include everything that will be in next week's PvP beta. We got to try out a new hero, Sojourn, the new push mode, a few new maps, a bunch of hero reworks, and the game's new 5v5 format. Watch our impressions above. The closed alpha only included content from the PvP side of the game. A big chunk of Overwatch 2, the story-based PvE mode that Blizzard hasn't shown off in a long time, was unavailable. Also important to note that while what we played on wasn't a live environment, while we did matchmake into games like usual, our opponents were limited to Blizzard employees, pro Overwatch players, other press members, and friends and family of Blizzard who were given access. We expect the game to feel like quite a bit different once the beta starts next week. Okay. I'm not gonna watch that. Um, Sorry guys. Cool. Well, so what? Next week is beta, closed beta, right? That's what they said. Or did they even say? Just says PvP beta next week. So we'll probably get more info on what the consensus is about what Overwatch 2 has to offer. I think as long as they don't try to stray too far from what they've done with overall Overwatch 1, player base is probably going to be pretty happy with it. So we'll see. Siphon Filter games rated likely for PS Plus Premium. Many Siphon Filter games have been rated for release in Korea, likely in preparation for the launch of PS Plus Premium in June. Reported by Gamatsu, PS1 titles Siphon Filter and Siphon Filter 2, as well as PSP releases Siphon Filter Dark Mirror and Siphon Filter Logan Shadow, have all received age ratings in the Korean region. They are for versions to be made available on PS5 and PS4, heavily suggesting this is tied to the upcoming relaunch of PS Plus. Should all 4 games be rolled into PS Plus Premium, it means only Siphon Filter titles missing would be the third mainline entry on PS1 and PS2 title, Siphon Filter The Omega Strain. However, the latter was a slight departure from the core series since you didn't play as classic protagonist Gabe Logan. The Siphon Filter titles are the first ones to receive age ratings in the lead up to the PS Plus Premium's launch. However, it is unclear whether every game included in the revamping service must undergo the age rating process once again. If that's the case, we should expect to see hundreds more in the near future. Roughly 340 PS1, PS2, PSP, and PS3 games, the latter via streaming, are set to be included in the top tier, and handing age ratings to all of them in time for June seems like a tall order. Yeah. For more info on the new PS Plus memberships, all tiers explained, click the link. What do you make of these new age ratings? And da 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 da. Okay. Yeah, we're going to keep seeing more about what games are going to actually be coming out on the subscription service, new subscription service for PlayStation. Pinky, are you hanging out, dude? You still hanging out, man? Paradox says anyone can make a Vampire the Masquerade game if they want to. Yeah. Hey, man. I don't know if you've had this happen. I was gonna let you know. I know a small patch came out where maybe they might have fixed this stuff. I hopped on Lost Ark last night for just a little bit. I did a bit of Guardian raiding, and in one of my Guardian raids, it literally, and I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know if Smilegate has dropped any info about this happening, but got into my second Guardian raid last night. Upon loading in, it literally crashed the game for all 4 party members, myself included. Like myself, yeah, okay, that's what I figured the update was for this morning. I just didn't know if that was going to fix it or not, and I didn't know if you had experienced it, so I just wanted to make sure you were aware. Cool, man. Cool. That's what I didn't. I just saw that there was an update. I hadn't gotten to read into it yet or anything, but yeah, last night, dude, it booted me, and I was like, dude, I hope I'm the only one that happened to. And sure enough, dude, I logged back into the game, and there's somebody already there, just like waiting. So we like just started dancing and like waiting on the other members, and only one other person came in. So it was like 3 of us went and killed the Guardian, dude. Yeah, felt a bit bad, but I'm glad they already. I figured they would get a hot fix out pretty quick for it. So cool, cool. Thanks, man. Just wanted to make sure. I was just thinking about it for some reason. Paradox says anyone can make a Vampire the Masquerade game if they wanted to. Unbound Publishing Initiative makes the Vampire license available for free. Huh. If you ever looked at the mess that is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 and thought to yourself, I can do better than that? Here's your big chance to prove it. Paradox Interactive has launched a new indie publishing program called Unbound that allows independent developers to create games set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe and to make money on them if they want. The program arose from the success of Vampire Jam, a game that drew in more than 80 submissions, 6 of which will launch alongside the Unbound program. Following the Vampire Jam last year, we realized how passionate our community is about creating Vampire the Masquerade games. World of Darkness community developer Martina Zich said, While we could only award one grand prize to Heartless Lullaby, we knew we had to create a platform that empowered our community to work on the projects they love while giving them the support they need to be successful. As long as World of Darkness fans continue to make great games, there will be more titles coming through Unbound. Naturally, the Unbound program is not an open ended free for all. Unbound games can only be offered on itch.io. There's an Unbound page there already, and developers cannot raise funds through crowdfunding or personal pages. Although funding through methods allowed by the Dark Pact agreement include Patreon, YouTube, and Twitch are okay. Games must be set in the Vampire the Masquerade's 5th edition story world, but won't be considered official canon in the World of Darkness universe, and in fact cannot have either Vampire the Masquerade or a World of Darkness in the title. They can be historical or contemporary, but have to take place in the real world. Either way, no sci-fi, high fantasy, or steampunk, for instance. 7K Guardian Stones? What? Just no money to hone with? Is that what the is? Paradox will also keep 30% of all yeah, that's what I figured, dude. That feels so bad, dude. That feels so bad. I'm sorry, man. Paradox will also keep 30% of any revenues earned on Unbound games. That's a big cut, more than Steam takes, although arguably fair. Given the free access to the Vampire license, developers, on the other hand, will retain ownership of all game assets that don't use World of Darkness property and are free to sell them in art books, soundtracks, or whatever. You don't have to be an experienced developer or a game dev studio to join. We allow everyone in from the creators of their first game to more experienced teams, Paradox said. These are the first 6 games from the Vampire Jam launching under the Unbound program. Descent, Chantry Trials, Game of Elders, Autumn People, Praxis, and Prodigal. Interestingly, the grand prize winner, Heartless Lullaby, is not part of the program. Currently available on Steam, where it carries the official Vampire the Masquerade title. Other Vampire Jam entries may appear in the Unbound lineup later, though, if their developers opt to submit them for consideration. If you're curious about submitting your own work for consideration or just want to see what it's all about, all the relevant info, including the application form and detailed licensing agreement, are available at worldofdarkness.com. That's really neat, man. That's really neat. Just in case anybody's interested, there it is in chat. 3 Sega Genesis, Mega Drive. Pinky, what are you doing today? You playing Lost Ark, man, or what are you playing? Uh, 3 Sega Genesis Mega Drive games have been added to the Switch Online's expansion pack. Looks like Shining Force 2, Sonic Spinball, and Space Harrier 2. Yep. Okay, cool. There they are. Epic Games Store has confirmed next free titles. Yeah, okay. We had already seen this, but it's good to let everybody know. Um, 1 second. Let me pull up mine, make sure I'm logged in here. Okay. Myth Force Myth Force actually looks really good. We might end up playing this. It looks really fun. So, right now, right now Amnesia Rebirth is free and River Bond is free. Um, Coming up next week, or starting on the morning of April 28th, will be Just Die Already, Old People Mayhem Sandbox. That looks wild. And Paradigm also looks wild. So grab your free games. Grab your free games. Yeah. What is River Bond? It doesn't say. We could look. What is this? A fun and frantic couch co-op adventure game for 1 to 4 players set in a stunning voxel world. Embark on a heroic journey to complete missions, battle adorable enemies, and smash everything into tiny cubes. It looks like Minecraft Dungeons, kind of, yeah? Ratings are not great. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Alienware's 2022 gaming laptop is going hard on AMD, or big on AMD. I'm guessing they're going to be throwing like their new processors in there. Alienware has announced a release date and pricing info for its latest batch of gaming laptops. Today's big news is that the Dell G15, Alienware M15, R7, and the Alienware M17 R5 are available now. Each of the configurations will come equipped with AMD 6000 series processors, paired with NVIDIA's RTX 30 series graphics cards by default, and DDR5 RAM, among other impressive specs. Intel based versions will likely release later in 2022. Uh, the most affordable option is a 2022 iteration of the Dell G15. So at $900, it's got a 1080p display, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's got the Ryzen 5 6600H 6 core, a 3050, 8 gigs. 8 gigs of 4. Are they saying 8 times 4? I don't know. DDR5, no. They're saying 8 gigs of DDR5. Supports up to 32. Uh, and a 256 solid state NVMe. Okay. All right. Baldur's Gate 3. Larian has for some time now said that its expectation is that Baldur's Gate 3 will go from early access to full release sometime in 2023. Let me stop. I know I just pulled up uh, the specs and all that. Alienware, Dell creates Alienware. Okay, it's the same company. Alienware is like a branch of Dell. Okay, it's their gaming hardware stuff. Um, I pulled it up because it's gaming. It's gaming hardware. I will always prompt people to do your due diligence, educate yourselves. If you're in the market for any kind of purchase, especially tech related purchase, um, take the time to do multiple do research multiple websites of professional reviews for the kinds of technology based products that you're in the market for, um, as well as get some user reviews on people's experience with products. That way you have a good idea of maybe a few different makes and models that you are in the market for your price range to acquire, and you can keep your eye open for some sales for those makes and models, right? Obviously, it all depends on how much money you're willing to spend, how quick you need to purchase that piece of equipment or whatever. Um, but I would also say that there are some definite times throughout each year where um, tech will rise and fall in price, okay? And if you can try to hold off on buying your tech until certain times of the year, whenever tech kind of dips and you can find really good sales, it's going to be more beneficial to you, okay? Really make sure you know what kinds of make and models you're looking for to get the best potential product for the amount for the money that you're going to pay for it, and then do do some nice shopping. Look around, you know, shop during those times when you're getting those good sales and everything, and that's what I would prompt people to do. Be a thrifty shopper, yeah. Um, Larian has said for some time now that its expectation is that Baldur's Gate 3 will go from early access to full release sometime in 2023. Now it's official. In a new video released as part of today's D&D Direct event, Studio said the big RPG epic will be out next year. That's a wide range of time, though, an entire year. The video is largely a recap of progress made since Baldur's Gate 3 was announced in 2019. In fact, it's called The Journey So Far. Dressed up in Larian's now traditional cosplay silliness, there's no question the game has come a long way over the intervening years. A fact clearly visible in the before and after graphical comparisons. But there is one interesting bit of news stashed away in there, which is the long awaited confirmation that yes, 2023 is the year. By the nine hell, we've added a lot of great stuff today. The Tiefling narrative, the video adventure says. And there's more where that came from. So join us in early access on our journey to Baldur's Gate 3 or come along in 2023 when the game releases. 2023 confirmation might be disappointing for especially optimistic fans who were tightly crossing fingers for an arrival in late 2022. But Larian generally isn't known as a studio that rushes releases. In fact, it briefly delayed the early access release of Baldur's Gate 3 at the last minute so it could work out some last minute problems. I'm fine with that. Don't release something buggy. I think everybody's okay with that. I can actually, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to pull up Steam real quick and go, um, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. So, Barbarian class, right? So, yeah, they released Barbarian class apparently. Early access game right now, right? But it looks like they just released a new playable class in the early access portion of the game, which is the Barbarian class, huh? So apparently, we've got a little bit new content there. I don't know when that released. I don't know if it was part of all this pack stuff or not, but there you go. I mean, we read an article here recently that was all about how Larian Studios basically got to the point where they were saying they were either going to need to scale the game down, Baldur's Gate 3, they were either going to have to scale the game down or they were going to have to significantly increase their workforce to make the game because of how big it was turning out to be. And they went from like a studio of what was somewhere between 200 and 300, I think, something like that, to a studio of 1,000, around 1,000 employees, just to make Baldur's Gate 3 the game that they wanted it to be. Um, they committed, man. They committed to this game, and hopefully it turns out to be very good. We have a lot of CRPG fans in this community, and I hope it turns out to be very good. I do. I do. I think I think as far from what I have found as far as CRPG fans go, uh, I feel like a lot of CRPG fans kind of have their very I guess a good word is they're kind of really picky, right? CRPG fans tend to be kind of picky about their games, and so um, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of real middle ground about something being just good. It's like either that was great or the title's not very good. It's the way it usually seems to play out. I know that's not always the case. It just that's the way it kind of seems quite often. But I do hope that Baldur's Gate 3 turns out to be very good, and I think Larian is really going all in on Baldur's Gate 3. So we'll see 2023. Corsair Gaming stock sinks aftermarket on weak prelim quarter 1 results. So yeah, okay. Stock sank 13.8% post market after the firm's prelim quarter 1 revenue widely missed street view due to short term slowdown in consumer spending in Europe. Uh, Quarter 1 unaudited review was 380 million, down 28%, well below consensus estimate of 449 million. Not expecting to show growth over quarter 1 since the quarter contained stimulus checks, pent up demand due to product shortages. Inflation is higher. The war, strain on consumer confidence. Encouraged by reports of GPU prices falling, availability coming back to normal, and we expect that to result in a surge of self-built gaming PC activity in H2 of this year. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. Halo Episode 5 finally makes the TV series feel like the video games. Fifth episode of Halo TV series finally feels like it's starting to mirror the video game franchise that it's based on. Halo came out of the gate with an explosive first episode that saw Master Chief and the other Spartans of Silver Team taking on a handful of Covenant elites. This opening fight scene had a number of callbacks to the games, but since that time, the pace of the series, at least in regard to fight sequences, has slowed down considerably. Now, Halo had opted to really lean into its first-person shooter roots with a bombastic new scene. The latest Halo episode of Halo ends up resulting in the first all-out battle that we've seen between UNSC and Covenant forces. While the skirmish that we saw in episode 1 was largely between a small group of elites and Spartans, this encounter sees all kinds of different squadrons going at each other. Not only are there UNSC and Covenant infantry doing battle on the ground during the scene, but the fight is also happening in the skies. It's an explosive and chaotic scene that is extremely fun from start to finish. One of the reasons why this fight scene is so great is because we finally start to see a number of different things that have become synonymous with the Halo series over the years. For the first time, this fight gives us a look at other Covenant forces like Jackals, Grunts, and even a brute that ends up going toe-to-toe with Master Chief. These aliens are also sporting weapons like the Needler, Plasma Pistol, and Gravity Hammer, all of which we haven't seen before in the show. Chief himself in the scene is also sprinting across the battlefield and is picking up various weapons he finds on the ground to kill foes as he goes. It leads to the fight sequence really feeling like something that would have come straight out of the games. Cool. Likely the best part of the final battle sequence comes when Master Chief launches himself onto the back of a Banshee, which is the Covenant's flying vehicle of choice. Although Chief doesn't end up hijacking the Banshee like he does in the video games, he ends up crashing it into another Covenant ship and causing a massive explosion. It's a great moment that anyone who has played Halo in the past will surely end up loving. As a whole, this fight really captures the sandbox-like nature of the Halo video games quite well and makes for what is likely the best scene that the show has had so far. It remains to be seen if Halo can add more great moments like this in future episodes, but the TV series definitely feels like it's starting to find its footing as it continues on. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think there were a lot of people that were not real thrilled with it up to this point, but sounds like that was a good episode. If you're interested, Paramount Plus is where it's streaming, so check it out if you have that streaming service. PAX East 2022, 6 most exciting games to check out: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, new indie Souls-like games, miniature platformers, and many more games stood out. So there's the new Turtles game. It looks so retro. I love it. Shredder's Revenge, direct sequel to the arcade classics. Very cool. Evil West, yeah. Release date to be determined 2022. Facing tons of vampires and demons in the supernatural infused Wild West shooter. It looks sick, dude. Looks sick. Flying Wild Hog has honed its craft for fast-paced action gameplay with the Shadow Warrior reboot trilogy, and now it's taking that know-how to the Wild West with the action horror game Evil West. Set in a supernatural take on the Wild West of North America, you play as a vampire-hunting bounty hunter who uses classic cowboy weaponry and advanced gadgets to slay demons of the night. Evil West is a third-person shooter that deftly blends shooting gameplay and melee combat, which opens up slick movements where you can disarm enemies and launch demons into the air with ease. You're basically Van Helsing then, I guess, yeah? This game came out of nowhere for me, and I like its pulp-style horror take on the Wild West. Very interesting, and seeing more of it later this year. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Yeah, this looks sick. I want to play this. Dolmen, Massive Works Studio, May 20th. We're less than a month away. Wouldn't be a stretch to say that From Software's Elden Ring and other Souls games have made a massive impact on the gaming industry, so much to say that other devs are taking a crack at making their own Souls-inspired games. They have been forever now. One game coming from Brazilian developer Massive Works Studio and published by Prime Matter is Dolmen, sci-fi take on the Soul-style game. In the far future, you play as a mercenary who travels to a planet hosting crystals that spawn multiple timelines. Gameplay will feel familiar to players of From Software's games, but with combat spiced up with the addition of firearms and energy powers. Might be one to watch out for if you're itching for a Soul-style game that offers a change of setting. Last, Oricru, developer Gold Knights. Sometime this year, potentially. One particular frustration with Souls games, they tend to have a fairly complex approach to co-op multiplayer. Usually a story behind it, but simply put, adding another player to the game isn't that easy. That's one thing the last Oricru, another sci-fi Souls-like game, is looking to remedy with the addition of couch co-op. On an alien world, you must decide which faction you'll side with during an increasingly hostile war. You won't have to take on the fight alone. One skill with key protagonist is summoning a hologram copy, which another player can control. Along with online play, split screen co-op is possible, which means you and a buddy can pair and endure steep challenges and harsh defeats together. Tinykin, from developer Splash Team. One game that surprised me at PAX was Tinykin. Very, very peculiar but visually impressive puzzle platforming game. Mixing 2D visuals with 3D environments, the game sports a style that looks right out of an animated film such as Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Nice. Playing as a shrunken down explorer, you team up with miniature critters to overcome platforming challenges and explore the world found within a human's house. Story and gameplay seems to borrow heavily from Pikmin, but the game does not present clever and surprisingly heartwarming twists on that premise. Looks like it'll be fun for all ages, so keep it on your radar. Last Hero of Nostalgia, developer Over the Moon Games. Another Souls-like style game, but it's their favorite from PAX. Last Hero of Nostalgia is set within the world of a high fantasy Souls-esque video game where you play as a hilariously undefined protagonist that looks like a walking stick figure. Okay. I didn't even notice it first. That's funny. With no class or backstory, you make your own tale within a game where the narrator has become self aware and is actively trying to stop your adventure. The Last Hero of Nostalgia is a parody game, and its fun combat is boosted by solid writing that pokes fun at the cliches and formula of fantasy games. Playing this was a riot, and I'm keen on seeing where this oddball will go when it's released later this year. Oh, that looks really cool. That looks cool. Okay, neat. Last Hero of Nostalgia. I wonder if that's already on Steam. It is. Check that out.
Right, yes. Indie game from coasting? Coaxing over the moon, souls like heroes. Here we go. In the age of the great forgetting, a spreading pixelation renders everything and everyone into decay. The land of Nostalgia needs a high-fidelity hero.
I'm not going to restart it right now.
Go away, hero!
Right. But what maketh a hero? Dost thou possess a thirst for adventure? Shall ye show valor in the face of fearsome enemies? And will thee restore peace, harmony, and fidelity to the people? For you are the last hero of Nostalgia. And what even is that? Is this a joke? You're the most pixelated thing here! You can't save anyone! No wonder they were booing. It's like a placeholder. Like someone forgot to load in.
Nice. Okay, cool. We'll keep track of that. That actually looks pretty neat. And Evil West, is that on Steam as well? Yeah, let's go.
You know what kept me alive all these years? Upkeep, maintenance, vigilance. Of course, all that means nothing when Hell's Gates starts spewing shit everywhere.
I'm just gonna log back in. Steam, fix your app. Such a pain. Okay. Now let's watch this.
These years, upkeep, maintenance, vigilance. Of course. Whew, you didn't see that coming.
Go. That looks pretty neat. That looks pretty neat. All right. Um. Well, there's some games being announced at PAX that look really cool. Um. Video game content creators face COPA liability hazards. Content creators on live streaming platforms that draw a preteen audience like YouTube Gaming and Twitch need to be aware of potential liability pitfalls under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, say Robbins Kaplan attorneys Matthew Woods and Austin Miller. Congress or the FTC could clarify the act but show no signs of doing so at this time. The number of YouTube and Twitch channels devoted exclusively to streaming popular video games continues to rise. In 2020, the YouTube's users watched 100 billion hours of video game content, of which 10 billion hours were of YouTube gaming live streams. One popular draw for content creators to stream live from their channels is the ability to receive donations from fans in real time. Unsurprisingly, these platforms collect viewers' personal information, as do the service providers that facilitate viewer donations. Additionally, live stream platforms allow content creators to interact with their viewers, making them feel more involved in the community, although they may not realize that content creators may be collecting the personal information of their preteen viewers. What? And thus subjecting themselves to liability under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act? Federal Trade Commission views individual content creators, in addition to platforms like YouTube, as being subject to COPA liability if an ad network collects personal information from viewers of that channel, such as through a review or subscription. Content creators should understand the scope of COPA as applied to these common situations. I'll have to read this later. I'm not going to read that whole thing. It's pretty long right now. If you're interested, I'll throw it in chat. It's pertinent to me. I'm going to read it later, but I'll keep it up for now. We'll just do that. Cool. That'll be news for today. That'll be news. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's day is going well. I hope your weekend continues to go well. We'll be moving on to playing our second day of Slay the Spire. Okay. If you're viewing this on YouTube, or you are not moving on with us to the gaming segment, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, okay? And hopefully we'll catch you very soon. If you are viewing this on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, then please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. And maybe even consider trying to come down and hang out with us whenever we do these live every single day, starting at 6 a.m. Central North American time. And then we always move on to our gaming segment where Monday through Friday, currently, we do variety gaming, just, you know, all kinds of, we play all genres of games. Right now we're playing card games, and then on the weekends we're playing our MMO Lost Ark. So we just like to have a good time, hang out, have some fun, joke around, and you know, just be gamers, have a good time. So appreciate everybody hanging out and being part of this, and hopefully we will see you very, very soon.